All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Coming at you live, post Raw, Underground, TNA 2003 just came back to life in front of my eyes, and I don't know how to process it. We got so much to talk about tonight. I almost had a stroke. Fuck, let's start this. Oh, and we're back, folks. Oh, man. I want those 3 hours back. So yeah, I'm not gonna. Don't worry, folks. I know a lot of you are like, oh, please no, don't talk about Raw. Well, no, I want to give my opinions on a few things tonight because I was actually excited to hear that Shane O'Mac was coming back. I like Shane O'Mac. Shane O'Mac. I didn't know he was going to bring back Fight Club and the TNA 2003 dancers. The lollipops. Speaking of lollipops, it's been a while. I'm out of beer. I'm out of beer. It's, I still got like a shot or two of vodka up on my shelf there, but I took a tiny sip of it the other night, and my head almost fell off my shoulders. It was like drinking cleaning alcohol. I mean, it was really bad. I don't even know what the hell it is. I'm not a vodka guy. I don't even know why we have it. But violation. I've been fired. The only thing that was missing was the cages. So, all right. So, yeah, it's Monday. How's everybody doing? Hope you all had a good weekend. Mine was okay. Mine was all right. It was awesome, crazy ass wrestling over the weekend. I know Mr. Front Row Bill Gardner was back in the front row driving cross country, making towns again. I know he's got to be excited about that. Damn. Maybe we won't do a lollipop tonight because, damn, just like losing everything tonight. My mind, my voice. Maybe I'll just chew some gum. Very professional. I know. It's good shit. It's that Mentos stuff. I don't know. My wife was going to throw it out, so I started using it. Okay, so the initial thing we're here for, Jiminy Christmas, I took a lot of notes tonight. Where the hell does this even start? All right. Took like 2.5 pages on Raw and just, I want the ink back too. All right, so let's kick this off with talking about some So we'll talk a little bit about the XFL. I don't know a ton of details. I'm not a sports guy. Okay, I enjoy the XFL, but I'm not a sports guy, so I'm not going to go into a ton of details that might have come out today. Just briefly give my thoughts on the headlines I read this morning. And I know you guys you're either really for it or you're really against it. So please give me your thoughts. You're not going to upset me. Not everybody is an XFL/football guy. So I woke up to the headline of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has purchased the XFL. And then I go on to read that he's just a co-owner. See, if you're not aware of this, look, The Rock has moved on from wrestling, okay? He is Hollywood entrepreneur, business, entertainment icon, okay? Conquered the wrestling world. He laid the smackdown on its candy ass. Conquered the wrestling world. Then conquered Hollywood. He is one of the highest paid guys in Hollywood. He's like what, top 3 highest paid guys, somewhere in that realm? I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure he's like top 3, top 5, something like that. The guy's making bank. He's got TV series. He's got movies. He's got that Disney money, that multi-trillion-dollar business Disney money. But now, so he's separated from his former wife, but she's a business partner. They're actually still in business together. And he put her over strong today. They've got a good business mind, good business partnership together, apparently still. So between Dwayne, his ex, please forgive me, I don't remember her name. I saw the headline earlier today. But he is a co-owner. You know, he fronted the money along with other partners. And man, the XFL is back. I mean, look, but headline aside, whether you like the news or not, that Danny Garcia, thank you, Bell's Boy. Thank you, Eugene. Appreciate it. And Terrence, everybody came up. Thank you. Appreciate it. No matter what, did you play football in your youth? No. I played flag football in grade school. That's J-Bone was not athletic. Okay. I used to play b-ball in my neighborhood back when I was growing up in Milwaukee. Okay. And I had a phenomenal sky hook. We call them sky. Do the kids still call it a sky hook? I don't even know. See, that's how out of the realm of like basketball and stuff I am. But man, I used to have my own hoop on my garage that unfortunately got taken down like all the freaking time. And so finally I just went with the neighborhood kids. John, Charlie, Ray. Oh, I can picture them all. I can't think of all their names because, damn, that's like 30 plus years ago. We're talking like mid to late 80s, like right before high school. But we'd go play at the hoops at the local Catholic school across from John Marshall High School. We wouldn't go play at John Marshall High School. That was scary. There was always cops around there. A bunch of they were always, a bunch of thugs around there. But yeah. So anyways, enough about my youth. J-Bone the Dream. The Dream Hook. Oh, God. Tell me more about neighborhood sports. Not tonight. I want to try to stay on track, even though my head's been all over the place tonight. But thank you for your interest in my childhood stories. I let some of them out on my other podcast I'm with the guys. Zach Boniford. No, that's not true. Although I probably did hit the garage one too many times. But anyways. So, are you excited about The Rock and his entertainment company and associates and I guess you could say financial backers? Are you excited about them breathing life into the XFL? It's I tell you what, him buying it for a cool $15 million. J-Bone Abdul-Jabbar, Jiminy Christmas, you guys. It really makes Vince McMahon look like trash. It really does, in my opinion. The fact that The Rock scooped it up out of bankruptcy court. I mean, I don't think it gets much more embarrassing than that. I think that's probably why you read the headline earlier today, courtesy of ringsidenews.com, that Vince McMahon was so volatile today. He probably had a lot of things on his mind besides trying to book a 3-hour Raw. So what does he do? He calls in his son. We'll get to that later. So look, it all realistically here, a brand like the XFL is going to depend on its fans. Okay, they're not going to set this up in some empty stadium and have them play. They don't have those kind of backers. Sports already is a train wreck because nobody can stay COVID-free because nobody wants to stay in their little bubble. They think it's a joke, so they just go out and they party and they do the hoo-ha and the whatever. I'll read that later. What happened with WWE's new mysterious faction? Well, I don't know what happened, but apparently this is going to be an ongoing story. I mean, I'm curious. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm sorry, that was a notification from ringsidenews.com. So look, all realistically, the XFL is still not coming back anytime soon. Okay, you'd have to. I'm assuming they're just going from scratch. I'm assuming the teams are not existing anymore, which really sucks. I mean, the time and effort that they put into it. And it was really it's smart to have an alternative. Yes, William, absolutely. It's whatever happens with it. If it does come back, it's probably going to try to come back 2 to 3 years from now. Because if they are starting from scratch, number one, we got to get out of this pandemic. We got to kick this thing's ass, and it's kicking our ass horribly because nobody's fucking taking it seriously. This country, the way the people have treated this, It's a worldwide pandemic. How many millions of people have to die before people start taking this seriously? And I don't mean to get all crazy political or whatever, but it's the truth. It's like, I'd like my life back. And I can't do shit. And it freaking sucks. But the world's just like, oh, it's whatever, and mask. And then they catch it. And then they're on a respirator. Then their head falls off. And they're like, oh, shit. Maybe I should have taken this more seriously. And I don't feel sorry for the bastards. I don't. If you're going to be ignorant to it, screw you. The pandemic's going to take your stupid ass. Paul Nelson says 2 years rebuild for the XFL. Yeah, I'm assuming 2000, I'd say 2022, 2023 at the earliest. Honestly. Now, if Dwayne and his crew can pull similar or the same people or better people to get this off the ground, which, I mean, I felt like it was doing really good. It's, the freaking COVID killed it. Unless there's something else that we don't know about. But I felt like for an experiment like this to go again, these teams had to be entertaining and play well. If you go into the season and you're 0-3, and all of a sudden you got to play your hometown ain't going to show up. Like St. Louis, first game, boom, out of the box. That place was considered sold out. Tremendous. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited about it, but like I said, we're still going to have to wait a few years to see actually what happens with this. So, but hey, yeah, like The Rock said, it's the first time ever that a female has owned a sports league. Now, women have owned teams before. Like, there's that woman out in LA that I believe she's part owner of the Lakers. I can't think of her name, but she's a partner with Mark Cuban or something like that. Heath Summer says XFL prior to the pandemic was doing well and had sellouts for games across the country. Dwayne, as the owner, will be a football mind that also understands how to operate a lucrative business. Yeah, he's a business guy now. He's surrounded by very smart people. The guy's not going to do anything now that doesn't make money, period. Jenny Butts owns the Lakers. Thank you. Or Jeannie, sorry. But yes, thank you. That's exactly who I was thinking of. She was also a producer for Wow Women of Wrestling. Thank you guys, everyone. Butters, Terrence, everyone. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Butter says the league will involve jabronis tackling each other's candy asses. Yes. And I even said something to my wife this morning when I heard this. My wheels started turning. And I'm going to kind of just repeat what I said earlier for the sake of finishing this statement. I told her, I said, I wonder if this is like a bigger picture thing. You look at what's going on in the world right now. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is very ambitious. Guy's making money. He's got his hands in a lot of different things. He's got the TV, he's got the movie, he's got the Disney. Now he bought some football, bought a league of football. No matter what you think of the league itself, it's the fact that he and his a former wife / business partner own a football league. That says something. The bigger picture of what I'm talking about, I was like, man, it's like he conquered wrestling. Now he's buying other sports leagues. You wonder down the line somewhere, because the guy's still kind of young. The guy's younger than me, I think. Isn't he? I have to see how old he is. What if this is another cog in the machine of something bigger, like maybe running for president someday? I know he joked about it, 5-10 years ago, whatever, and we've jokingly, being fans of The Rock, said, oh, sure, I'll vote for you. Everybody and their uncle is running for president now. Look who's our president now. He's a billionaire TV, reality television dude. Businessman first, but still. So nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. I told her, I said, think about it. He's doing this. He's doing this. He's doing this. He's doing this. All eyes are on him right now. And Kanye fucking up. But anyways, love you, Kanye. Wrong way to have all eyes on you. Just saying. I'm just saying, just don't be surprised 5-10 years down the road, you see The Rock take this seriously and get into politics. Just saying. All right, so we continue. Now, mind you, I'm completely stone sober tonight. And these are the thoughts that are coming out of a stone sober J-Bone's head. It's scary, isn't it? Terrifying, almost. The Rock, Tom Hanks gets my phone. Jiminy Christmas. Terrence says, hey, it's AEW time. Yes, let's talk some AEW, shall we? Oh, dear Lord. That's terrifying. His line, across all the commercials. You want to make this country swing again? Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying, Hakeem. But anyways, all right. So before I watched 3 hours of Raw, I watched. Now this was weird because it was on YouTube, and I've seen some opinions about it. But let's just get into it. About opinions about where it was put is what I'm saying. AEW Women's Tag Team Cup Tournament, the Deadly Draw. I like that. It's different. Now, this was loaded with surprises, folks. This had 10 times more surprises in a half an hour than Raw had in 3 hours. I was waiting for all these surprises. Now, granted, there was Raw Underground and shit like that, which was surprising. Made me scratch my head a lot, and then I realized I can't do that too much because I'm bald. So let's talk about this deadly draw. Number one starts off we see Tony Schiavone and someone new by his side. We have Veda Scott, formerly of, she was formerly of Ring of Honor, right? Pretty sure. Now, was she ever in TNA? Like, I know there was like a time in TNA where I wasn't watching as closely, and I feel like I missed something. Was she ever in there? I don't think she was, but if she was, please let me know. You're right, Bell's boy. If you don't vote for Swinger, you're a Mizark daddy. We'll get to that, Hakeem. We'll get to that. She did. Knockouts. Knockdowns. Oh, okay. Okay, so was that like a test thing, or was that like the knockouts gut check thing? Is that what that was? Okay, something maybe. But okay, so she had some association with TNA, but not a lot. Mostly for Ring of Honor. Now, I was impressed with she's a good talker. She honestly, I felt like she fit right in with Tony. She's intelligent. It's not like they stuck some like, hot dits up there with Tony, and Tony was just like, more distracted by her than the rest. Like, no, they actually meshed well together. AEW did that well. One night only pay-per-views. Okay. Veda Scott was Ring of Honor 12 to 16, TNA 2014 and 2016. Okay. It was like the Twitch or Impact Plus specials of a state. Right. All right. Or TNA in your house. No, I'm kidding. And that's not the only thing we got. We got just a load of this whole first like few minutes was like just surprise after surprise after surprise. In-ring announcer. Loved it. Shaul Guerrero. I should have guessed that she'd be a part of this, seeing as Vicky is signed now. But Shaul Guerrero is great. If you guys hadn't seen her before, she was in Lucha Underground. I'm trying to think like how many seasons. Was it all 4 seasons? Then she was in she was in Wild Women of Wrestling 2, I think. It's fuzzy. I still have to catch up on that. I don't think I ever will, though, unfortunately. It's just finding the time to watch 12 hours of season 2. It's like, it's like trying to watch a whole freaking series on Netflix and binge it. But Shaul Guerrero's great. She's got a great voice. She's very attractive. She's very good at that. Shaul was only in season 4. Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Melissa Santos was ring announcer for most of that, wasn't she? Eddie's daughter. Yes, that's Eddie's daughter. Yes, Eddie and Vicky Guerrero's daughter. Yes. She almost got into the wrestling side of the wrestling industry, but that didn't last long. She went through some life issues, and then she went to school, and she went back to wrestling, and then she just did this. So she's doing modeling, and she's doing this. So it's all right. So, she later appeared in WoW. Yes. And then so we got Charlotte Guerrero ring announcing. She introduces Medusa, former WWF, former WCW women's champion. Medusa. Crazy. She comes out and she reveals the tag team cup, the AEW cup. And it's impressive. It's very tall. It's, got all the pillars and the big cup, and it's like it dwarfs the Stanley Cup. So I'm not a hockey guy, but I know that Stanley Cup's pretty big. She started in NXT. Yeah. She's married to former Aiden English and is an exotic dancer now. I think she's more than that. But but yeah, she's married to Aiden English. And I think they still live up in Chi-Town. He's a whiskey guy. He's got his own YouTube commercial channel. Excuse me, YouTube channel. So Medusa's out there, reveals the cup. Now we got Brandy. Now I didn't enjoy all this. Wasn't like, oh my god. Like some of the reveals were a little Okay, so Brandy and Allie had to pick their chips or their colors or whatever, because that's the thing. Each girl, woman, lady has to pick their own color. And whoever picks the same color, that's who you're matched with. So you sometimes know who you're getting matched up with, sometimes you don't. Like they kept the Nightmare Sisters together, Brandy and Allie. They both picked red. Then Penelope Ford picked blue or baby blue or whatever. And Mel previously picked that. So you got Penelope Ford and Mel. I was actually excited about that. So you got Mel and Penelope Ford versus the Nightmare Sisters. This was a decent match. I hadn't seen Mel wrestle in a long time. And Penelope Ford just got that championship shot. So I was like, oh, they absolutely have a chance at this. So, Mr. Fretz, what is up? Medusa appearing in another rival promotion. Well, at least she didn't throw the title into the trash. Yeah, right. It was. She kindly gave that one back to them. Yeah. Something like Joker's Wild. Yeah, something like Joker's Wild. So yeah, this was good. Didn't write down really details from these matches too much. Nightmare Sisters won. Allie scratched Mel behind the ref's back. Mel turns around, blinded, gets a spear from Brandy Rhodes. 1, 2, 3, wins a match. Next, we get the replay of Nia picking her color from last week, and the reveal of Arian Andrew, formerly Cameron of the WWE, tag team partner of Naomi. And I've given my opinions on that. I don't want to rehash all that, but we're just hoping for better at this point, right? So now, and we get introduced to a brand new Tay Conti debuting. She picks a color. Anna Jay picks a color. They're together. So we got Nia Rose and Arian versus Tay Conti and Anna Jay. Now, This one surprised me. This one really honestly surprised me. I envisioned Nyla Rose coming up with the win here and kind of carrying Arian Andrew. She actually did pretty good. Well, let me say this. She did better than I thought she was going to do. Okay. She actually had some decent moves. I hate her finisher. She still does that like split thing. And it just looks ridiculous. Like it's so compared to the rest of the roster and their finishers are like legit finishers, or really good signature moves. But this whole split thing is like straight out of Diva Country. And I can't stand it. I want to see more from her. I want to see her do better. Now she did have some decent moves in the ring. Stuff that was, put together. It takes two to have a good match. Let's not kid ourselves. But Tay and Anna worked pretty good together. They didn't seem real thrilled about being out there together at first. Like they were like cautious. Like, I don't know about this, But they won. And then Nyla Rose takes out her own tag team partner. And, Vicky Guerrero's just laughing. So that's the end of this first, the Deadly Draw. And I don't know exactly where it's going to continue. Now, we also got some updates on some scheduling hiccups going on with AEW. Oh, dear God. I'm on WrestleZone.com right now, and there's this big thing that pops up. It says Shark Week 2020, Tyson versus Jaws. What the hell am I reading? So AEW, here we go. Come on. Load page. Thank you. Due to the NBA schedule, AEW Dynamite will make the following shifts on TNT. So there's like a handful of them here. All right. So Wednesday, August. Now, this is in a few weeks. So you can, mark your calendars, make sure your DVR's set, whatever. This article is on WrestleZone.com. You can read the whole thing in its entirety there, but I'll just go over the dates quickly. Wednesday, August 19th will air Saturday, August 22nd. Okay. And you can look up the times yourself. Some of these times are like all over the place. Wednesday, August 26th, the following week, will air Thursday. So that's just one day later, August 27th. Wednesday, okay, now this is a few weeks away from this. September 16th, we get like 2 weeks normal Wednesday night time. September 16th will air on the next night, September 17th. And that's it. So there's that news too. I wanted to let you guys know that because not everybody catches that stuff. So there you go. And double check the article for times and whatever. And double check your local listings. Oh, Jimmy Christmas. All right. Now, somebody doesn't like the NBA. What? HD, what is up, dude? That's not your normal channel. Oh, whatever. Glad you're here nonetheless. Saturday Night Wars. All right, so next, I didn't have much else as far as news. I might have missed something, but I was going to talk about Raw. Now, Raw overall was just batshit crazy. Like it actually started out like it actually like flowed, like it had a purpose. Okay. But right off the bat, there's these like lighting issues. Like something's going wrong with the electricity. And here I'm thinking it's like ICU kind of shit. You know, like, oh, the light's out, someone's going to show up. No one showed up. It's like power grid problems. Or, you know, somebody didn't pay the electric bill or somebody blew a fuse or something. It's confusing shit. So, like, you're expecting someone to show up. All throughout the show, these little hiccups. Kevin Owens is in the ring later doing his KO show. He's having mic troubles. Mike keeps cutting out on him. But it was right after he mentioned Shane McMahon. So, just weird. Apollo Crews defends his title successfully. He is still United States champion, which I appreciated that. You know, and I get the whole storyline where MVP had the title, had the new title, and was like, "Oh no, I'm the champ," and whatever, and that's fine. That's an okay storyline. That's fine, you know. And then Apollo, when he comes back from his injury, has to defend his actual championship, and then he gets the new belt. So, and I actually like that new belt. And it looks very patriotic, big gold eagle on it. I like it. It's different. At least it doesn't have a giant freaking W on it like all the others do. You know, it's different. It's unique. Like the Intercontinental Championship, one of the most unique belts out there. It almost looks like the Lucha Underground title. Bailey, Sasha Banks stuff. Shayna Baszler comes out, punches Banks dead in the face. That was hilarious. They got a match later. All right. Kevin Owens stuff. Mike keeps cutting out because he mentioned Shane McMahon. The Ruby, Riot, and Liv Morgan team, the Riot Squad. And be nice in the chat, guys. Be nice in the chat. The Riot Squad is back together. And I actually like that because I like Liv Morgan and Ruby Riot together. So they made this big dramatic thing in the ring. Iconic showed up, poo-pooed it. They had a match. Riot Squad wins. So MVP at the end of that whole first segment had challenged Apollo at SummerSlam for a rematch. Apollo accepts. But then Shelton goes up to MVP and he's like, hey, my belt's missing. He's a 24/7 champ, poor bastard. So see, this is what they do with legends, man. You got legends like R-Truth and Benjamin, and they put it 24/7. Jeez Louise. McIntyre, Orton, they're probably going to headline SummerSlam. Still rolling out. Now, okay, here's my issue. They're still rolling out Flair. Why? He doesn't add anything anymore. God bless Flair and all his, all of his accomplishments. 30 million time champ, whatever. God bless him. Stop risking his life and putting him on TV. What is it going to say about your company if a man like Ric Flair contracts COVID? His wife's already got it. His wife already fucking has it. But you keep marching him out there and risking him. An icon like Flair risking his health. For what? Orton doesn't need it. Orton doesn't fucking need it. Nobody needs Flair. Not at this point anymore. It's all Charlotte. And Charlotte's getting stuff fixed. Stuff fixed. It's truth. But anyways. Oh, don't even get Mrs. J-Bone started on Charlotte. Oof, does not like her. So yeah, just seriously, send Flair home. We don't need Flair. I don't know, we get more Flair. Flair goes up to Kevin Owens. Tells him to start minding his own business, stop playing Doc or Dr. Phil or whatever. He's like, oh yeah? Well, how about I challenge your boy Orton next week? And Flair has this fucking look on his face that's just terrifying. It's like this big ass creepy 70-year-old smile. Like, please, no more Flair. God bless him. But we don't need him. Take him off TV. But they won't listen to a guy like me because I don't know shit. Nia Jax. Okay, now this thing, I'm a little out of touch with this whole Nia Jax thing. Apparently, she kicked Pat Buck's ass last week. Now she comes out. She's supposed to apologize to Pat Buck. Why is Pat Buck out there? Why? I don't understand. Because the guy is 1/3 the size of her. So she just clobbers his ass and then he indefinitely suspends her. So apparently he's in charge? Or is he just like the delivery boy of this message from upstairs? I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't really paying that much attention, but apparently Nia Jax is indefinitely suspended, meaning she's fired. So I don't know what's going on. For those of you who don't know what indefinitely suspended is, means you're fired. Next, the 24/7 championship. Now, I don't understand this. I thought this was just like everybody running around trying to pin some dude and kick their ass like the hardcore championship. When do they start organizing matches for this? Because then during the match, the rules are out the window and it just becomes a regular match. Why do they keep changing this? I'm so confused. But anyways, R-Truth, Shelton Benjamin, and Ninja Boy Tozawa. What's worse? Making Tozawa a ninja or making the Mexicools the Mexicools? Seriously. Like, I want to hear your opinions on this. Like, why don't you just call him Bok Choy Boy? You know? Producer of the Evil Empire. So, yeah, just give me your opinion on it. Like, what's worse, Mexicools or Ninja Tozawa? You know? So Tozawa wins. He is now the 3-time. Both? Mr. Fred says both. Okay. Tie. Tie for racist gimmick. It's crazy. When Tozawa came out with his ninjas, I was like, oh, like seriously, what? Critical Sting says Cuck Canellis. All right. Butter says Mexicools. They're both stereotypes of races. Yeah. What's worse, Tozawa as a ninja, Chavo pretending to be a white guy, or Shorty G? Well, Shorty G is just a shitty gimmick. That's not a racist thing. Raw ratings suck. Well, yeah. Zach says, I do need my grass cut. Well, then you better grow your grass. You better cut your grass. Don't be calling them Mexicools, man. It's What's up, Swag fan? All right. We continue. Just curious what you guys would say. Now, we get at the top of the, or right before the top of the third hour, which is why I think this was put in the third hour sporadically, because it was an underground thing with the dancers and it was a little more adult-ish. Shane McMahon looks like he's running an underground fight club. He's outside of a ring and there's guys grappling. There's no ropes, just a ring. Like the bars are up in the corners, you know. But there's no belt, there's no ropes. And guys are just, it basically looks exactly like EC3's thing, his comeback video. Looks exactly like his comeback video. So they looked at that and they said, oh, shit, that looks awesome. Let's make that a new segment. So is this whole thing just to shit on EC3? Is that what the bigger picture is here? I'm curious. Let me know how, like, ridiculous Baba Tunde. Yeah, Baba Tunde was in there. Now he was the guy outside the door, right? Or was that the first monster they drove out, put out there, the 7-foot guy, 300 some odd pounds? That guy was debuted in Jeddah last year, right? Because they wanted, what, Andre the Giant, and Andre the Giant's dead, so they put a different giant out there. And that was like the biggest or closest thing they had. Raw After Dark. Well, I think there's, like, I don't know. Yeah, who booked this shit? No, Big Ninja was the first bouncer. Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, you're right. The one that showed up at the pay-per-view. Just wait until Wrestle House gets ripped off. Yeah, it'll happen. That's funny, Hakeem. Pritchard smoking the electric lettuce? Possibly. Oh, yeah. Saudi wanted Andre the Giant and Yokozuna. Oh, they're not out of touch at all. At all. You're only, 40 years have passed. So we get a glimpse of this thing, and they say, At the 10 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock my time. It's on the top of the third hour. We're getting Raw Underground. I'm like, Raw Underground. And they show the dancers dancing. Just the only thing they were missing was the cage. And I was like, holy shit, this looks like freaking TNA 2003 with the dancers. Now, I review these every week with Trent, and I appreciate that. But if they're going backwards that far, and that's what they're doing with their women, and you wonder why they're not putting out Evolution 2, because this is what they're doing with their women. What the fuck? Unbelievable. All right, so that's coming down the road. Dominic challenges Rollins at SummerSlam. Jiminy freaking Christmas. And just to jump ahead, Rollins ends up accepting the challenge. So we get caught up. We get all the segments from last week. They do the whole Raw rewind or whatever. So Dominic is going to debut his first WWE match at one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. SummerSlam 2020. And for those of you wondering, they're not going anywhere special with this. It's going to be in the same place. Don't be, oh, it's going to be on a luxury cruise someplace. Oh my God, George, go get tickets. No, shut up. It's going to be in the PC. We get the most, okay. Raw Underground in its few segments in the third hour of Raw tonight made more sense than what happened next. I don't know what they're wrecking worse right now, their tag division, which we'll get to that, or their women's division. So I find out last week that Asuka lost the championship because of a countout. When did they start doing this? What have they said for 30, 40 years? You can't win if a championship if it's a countout. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. What tag division? Yeah, they're on Underground now, apparently. That or passing out in the ring, which we'll get to. So we get the replay of that. Asuka's not champ anymore. They beat her friend. She's gone. She went back to Japan. No, she's not going to show up in AEW. She went back to Japan. She's got married. She wants to be with her family. Hopefully she can get back there. But Shayna Baszler now faces Sasha Banks. Now, I don't remember if this is for the Raw Women's Championship, so please forgive me. But all of a sudden, Asuka comes down and attacks Bayley. She doesn't attack Sasha. That would be an automatic DQ. Right? I'm not using too many brain cells on this yet. Asuka attacks Bayley at ringside. Bayley is not part of the match. Ref rings the bell, ends the match. Why? What the we're just making up new rules? I mean, that's like, it's kind of like the NFL. They make up new rules like every week, right? I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, that's like 2 weeks in a row now. They made up like brand new rules. Like, if you run down to ringside and attack the person that you came down to the ring with, that ends the match. Somebody please explain this to me. I don't know. Hogan lost the. Yeah, okay. There's situations where, like, if you're DQ'd, it's like you try to get the DQ to hang on to the title. Sometimes they make the rule where, but if you're DQ'd, you lose the title. They do that every great once in a while. I'm not talking about that, but thank you, Zach. Remember when Christian Cage won the world title after he got kicked in the dick by Randy Orton? No, honestly, I wasn't watching at that time. I pretty much missed Christian Cage's whole world championship run. Please forgive me for that. So Jer Alejandro actually liked Raw. All right. Not going to judge you. That's fine. Like, I'm like picking it apart, and there's like some parts that I just really don't understand. Like, I was really waiting for some kind of like next level Shield stuff to show up. I should have, just like the song goes, should have known better than to watch this 3-hour Raw. Little Richard Marx there for you. So yeah, this whole women's section just completely messed me up. Watch, I'm going to get a copyright thing now. So Asuka wants a rematch, but Baszler wants Asuka. I'm getting more and more confused by this. We continue. I'm not going to think any more about that because then my head's just going to start hurting again. Fred says I kind of liked it. I kind of liked it too. Like, we saw some new faces and they tried to come up with some new ideas, and I'm really trying to like the underground thing, but it's so backwards thinking for what it is. Someone messaged me while I was watching it, and they said, "Oh, WWE brought back Brawl for All." I thought that was funny. Losing his memory. That happens at least once during every show. What do you want? I'm old. J-Bone, what do you think about this story of someone asking out Alexa Bliss and paying her $400? I have no clue what that is, dude. Dude, she's dating some rock star now. She's not dating Murphy anymore. She's dating some rock star. It's that it's okay. If you guys watch the Ms. and Mrs., it's that singer songwriter dude that's like the best friend of the Miz. I can't think of his name. He was a pop star about 20 years ago. That's who Alexa Bliss is dating. How would Orton be booked in Impact if he crossed the line? He never crossed. He's never crossed the line. But he'd probably be going against guys like EC3. like some like really something good. I don't know. It's like, a better question is how would they book Bobby Roode? Because Orton's never jumping ship. He's a lifer just like Taker is, just like a handful of others are. Raw Underground sounds like it went about as well as the first version of TNA's Gut Check. Well, it was just very unpredictable. It's all right. So we get into this last hour. Raw Underground has 3 segments in here. Okay. Excuse me. Damn. First segment, we'll just cover all these segments right off the bat. We'll just do them all in a row. Shane McMahon's the host, shows off the go-go dancers. Apparently next week we're going to get fighting go-go dancers. And if this is what their result, they're like continuing this thing with the go-go dancers, is that they're just going to be like cat fighting next week. Seriously. It's about as bad as Divas Gone Wild from 20 years ago. Seriously. I mean, come on. I wrote down TNA 2002 LOL after the go-go dancers. The lollipop girls. That's all they were missing was a cage and a lollipop. So this Daba Kato, that's his new name, okay? 7 feet tall, 350 pounds, and he's just destroyed like 3 guys in like 1 minute. So here's my first thought on this. My thought was a cat fight. I thought that this was just a way that they introduce someone new on Raw, as in, like this is where he came from. This isn't actually going to be an ongoing thing on here, but this is where we're introducing some new faces. This is where they're coming from. Next week, they're going to be just on TV in the ring. This also reminded me of that Hulk Hogan movie where he fought Zeus. Someone reminded me the name of this. It was like 1990. Someone reminded me the name of this. And I actually saw that movie in the theaters. It was Hogan versus Zeus, where Hogan played Rip. He wore all blue. Someone's going to come up with it. 3, 2, 1. Nope. No holds barred. I knew Sting would get it. Thank you. And like 10 more are going to pop up. Thank you, everyone who chimes in on this. If you guys remember where Zeus came from, it was like that underground fight field. That's what this felt like. It was a cross between No Holds Barred, Zeus, and that EC3 video thing where EC3 shows up at the end of the video and he goes, "Wah!" and freaks out and chokes a guy out in like 10 seconds. So I was like, ooh, Dabakato, all right, badass. You know, at least he's not wearing some weird steel, shoulder pad looking gimmick thing. It's just, he looks grungy. He's got the wife beater shirt on, some kind of athletic pants, dirty looking, kills people, boom, done. So that was my first thought. I'm like, okay, this is how they're introducing people. Next week, they're going to just bring them to TV. But no, apparently this underground thing is going to be an ongoing segment now. like third hour because it is like more like looking real violent-ish. Like Ziggler was even out there in the last segment doing some like real MMA style grappling. Did like the rear naked choke, and then MVP showed up and his crew, and Ziggler was like, nah, I ain't messing with you guys. No holds barred. All you need now are midgets. Midgets jerking off in a garbage can. Jiminy Christmas. So then he had the Viking Raiders, Eric, taking out they called him some kid. They didn't even give him a name. It was just some kid. It was like, poor bastard. Choked him out. So you got Dabba-Kato, the Viking Raiders, actually looking like they're like legit, regular, badass guys, not all this big shoulder spike gimmick Road Warrior stuff. And then Ziggler was in the last one. The Hurt Business shows up, clears house. And I mean legit clears house. Nobody left. Everybody's down. Everybody's dead. Whatever. Gone. Even the women. Cage dancers. Dead. Not dead. Dead. So apparently the Hurt Business is taking over Raw Underground, and Shane's like, yeah, you guys can come back whenever you want. Blah, 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 blah. So does that mean we're going to get like, for SummerSlam, we're going to get like the Viking Raiders and this Dabba-Kato? I'm never going to remember that. Babatunde was like easier to remember than this Dabba-Kato. So you're going to get Viking Raiders and Dabba-Kato versus the Hurt Business, all three guys. Is that what's happening? I have a feeling that's what's happening. And it's all going to be cinematic. Same place. Now, back to our regularly scheduled fainting. Montez Ford. What the hell's going on with Montez Ford? He goes from shaking the ropes to falling over and just had a stroke in the middle of the ring. This is what they're doing with their tag division. It's so sad. It's so sad. And Dawkins and Ford are so good. They're charismatic. They're athletic. They're great in the ring. They're legit good. Like, I've seen their regular matches on NXT before they came to the main roster. Why can't you just give these guys good matches? But no, Ford's got the fainting gimmick now or something. Which we come to find out later. Fuck, it's hot in here. Come to find out later, he was poisoned. And I caught where they gave it away. He's in the ring earlier, and they're doing the promo before the two singles matches. Ford has the cup. Does this. Takes a sip, looks in his cup like, what the hell did I just drink? That was the little giveaway. Like, oh, there's something in my cup. If you blinked, you missed it. I actually caught it. And I'm like, well, that was weird. Why did he look in his cup? Did he look in his cup because he's out of alcohol or something? No, because there was something strange in his cup. Made him pass out, not once, but twice. So you actually made your medical crew look really shitty. Kayfabe shitty. Because if someone legit passes out during a match, just get him out of here. Take him back or take him in an ambulance straight to the hospital. Why did he pass out? No, let's let him wrestle. And they're trying to like explain this during the show. Like, no, it's okay. He's fine. Our medical team absolutely would not have let him wrestle if he wasn't fine. Shut up. You're backtracking from the fucking CM Punk trials. Jiminy Christmas. Stop. It didn't work. Oh my God. So yeah, that just, I had my head shaking on this. Like, now after all that, Bianca Belair's kicking Andrade's and Garza's manager, Selena Vega, kicking her ass because she's like assuming that, you know, she's the culprit of the poisoning. Next, we get footage of thugs attacking equipment outside the PC. Someone throws a Molotov cocktail on some equipment that's hooked up outside. They're like generators or whatever. At this point, I'm just throwing up my hands as I'm taking my notes. I'm like, is this related to the underground or is this separate or was this the ninjas? I'm so confused right now. Like they legit like smoked some next level shit while they were doing this. No wonder Vince was volatile and like ripped up the entire script. And then they had to rewrite this all in a couple hours. Yeah, because everybody's talking about it because they're like, oh my God, this is a bigger train wreck than, like they tried. Oh my God, I just figured it out. They tried to top what Anderson and Gallows did. There you go. There you go. This shit is so random. And I've been a fan of Impact Wrestling for a decade, for fuck's sake. Yeah, it's crazy. They throw all this new weird shit in one Raw. They try to be like, oh, Shane McMahon's coming back. So yeah, I was curious. I was legit curious. I was like, oh, okay. So Shane's probably not wrestling. He's okay. He's in decent shape. He can still go. But I'm thinking, okay, he's going to bring back someone. Maybe a new faction. They've started creating some buzz. But no, it was this new underground thing. Like, if this is where you want to, like, you know, like make some new, a Molotov cocktail. Yes. They had the footage outside. Bunch of guys dressed in black. Like I said, I thought it was the ninjas. They all run up to one area in front of the equipment, about 10 feet away. One guy lights the stuff. This is all from 30 feet back overhead. And they throw it, and poof, then everything's on fire. So that's why the electrical problem. That explains the lights out electrical problems that happened earlier in the night. So, okay, there's some consistent storytelling there. Is what Trent and I always talk about. Consistent storytelling. It's fine. But there's so much chaos involved in this that it's like, because at this point of the show, in the third hour, if this is what you're explaining, all the lights out situations, what about all this other crazy bullshit that you just dealt with the last 2 hours? But now you're trying to explain the lights out? Oh my God, fuck people. So then the Hurt Business is like, oh, well, we're going to go to the underground. Okay, so that leads to the main event thing. Now, I got excited. I was like really confused, and then I got excited, and then I was just like, oh, okay. So the Monday Night Messiah shows up, and he's in the ring. I'm not a fan of this gimmick. I'm really not, because basically it's just 2013 CM Punk all over again, or 2012, I think. Only not as good. I appreciated the CM Punk gimmick. Put your hand on the screen and shaving people, and it was fun. It was crazy. This is just the Seth Rollins. Jeez Louise. Poor guy. So he starts going after Tom Phillips, and I'm like, what the? She was yelling at Tom Phillips because he wasn't being a biased journalist. I'm like, okay. So then he tells Murphy, he's like, all right, so you've become a liability. We can't have you here no more. We're gonna have Murphy take you out. Samoa Joe stands up. He's like, nah, this. I'm not gonna let this happen. So I was like, oh, is Samoa Joe back? Is he like getting in the ring again? And it goes to commercial break. So now I'm excited. I'm like, oh shit, Samoa Joe's back. Here we go. Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Let's do this. Or Murphy versus Samoa Joe. I don't care. Some dude down the block that just like tried to light the building on fire versus Samoa Joe. I don't care. As long as I get Samoa Joe in the ring. Nope. Grabbed a tissue and shed a little tear. It's like, shit. Samoa Joe's not getting in the ring. It was all a distraction for Seth Rollins so that Dominic, Rey Mysterio's son, could get in the ring, the Singapore cane, just cane the shit out of everyone. Rollins is mad, accepts the challenge. And then it goes into that last segment that I already talked about with the Hurt Business. Cleared out everybody, including Swerve. Swerve was there too, if you missed it. Got his ass handed to him by like Shelton Benjamin or someone. You should know better, J-Bone. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I want WWE to do better. I'm always hopeful. The hopeful romantic. I know some people legit want WWE to die. No, I still have favorites in this company. I don't want it to die. But it's getting to the point where someone in Titan Towers is going to look at this show and be like, all right, Vince needs to fucking go. Because they can vote him out. It's not his company anymore. I mean, it's his company, but, when you got a board of directors, they can vote for shit. If they get together and be like, Vinny, seriously, just stay home. Stay home with your $1 billion and just, spend it on prostitutes, seriously, when Linda McMahon isn't home. And then lots of cookies, chocolate chip cookies and prostitutes. It's going to get to that point. I can't wait to hear, like, people talk about this the next day. Like, people like the Wrestle Talk people, and sometimes you hear, like, Alvarez say how, like, fucked up Raw was. I can't wait for that. It's always very entertaining. So, yeah, a half hour of AEW women's tag team wrestling was actually better than 3 hours of Raw. I'll say it. What's up, Styles? How you doing? So, am I going to watch SummerSlam? Yeah, I'm probably going to watch SummerSlam. But they're trying to call it the biggest show of the summer. It's like, no, that already happened. We already had Slammiversary. Shut the hell up. You're not going to outdo Slammiversary. I'm sorry. And I don't care about Twitter and Google and ratings or whatever. The fans have already spoken. Because, I'm legit curious to see how good Dominic is going to do it in the ring versus Seth Rollins. And for those who are all going to sit there and be like, oh, Seth Rollins is going to hurt him, end his career in the first match. No, he's not. Pell's boy, I don't want WWE to die either. Yeah, I just want him to do better. Get some decent wrestling in there with the people that can wrestle. Is it too much to ask for? You could do both. You could do some entertaining stuff and have some good wrestling. That actually makes sense. Instead of hey, there's a count out. Here's the title. What? The fuck universe are we living in now? Keep this man in your prayers. Yes, keep J-Bone in your prayers. Put your hand on the television and say a little prayer for J-Bone. So yeah, that's it for tonight. I went an hour and a half. Thank you all for sticking around this long. There were portions I like, okay, you're going to introduce some new, different things, but man, this underground thing. Like I said, in my opinion, in my professional podcasting opinion, if they were going to just use this, not call it anything, use the Raw Underground thing as a background thing from where, what's his name again? Dabba-Kato. I'm never going to fucking get that right. Where Dabba-Kato comes from, and they bring him just like No Holds Barred where Zeus comes from. And then they bring him into the wrestling world, the legit wrestling world, not the underground fight club. If that's what they're doing, fine. But if they make this underground thing a weekly thing, and it stays the way it looks, and Shane McMahon's, bouncing around, the chicks are, bouncing around behind him. This oh my God. Did Jeff Jarrett come up? Oh, is Jeff Jarrett still writing this back? Did Jeff Jarrett come up with this bullshit? I think I just fucking figured it out. All right, we're out of here. Thank you so much. Like I said, half hour AEW women's tag team wrestling. Better than 3 hours Raw. You heard it here, folks. Much love, folks. We'll see you guys tomorrow live on TNI for the watch along, and whoever else shows up. Mr. Front Row Bill should be back in town, so he'll probably join me. And then we'll do the TNI review of Impact Wrestling a half an hour after. So we'll see you live on Twitch tomorrow night, folks. Join me. Because, damn, it's going to be better than this bullshit. Later, folks.